Yes, welcome back to SFeatleyTV, and we're here for the F1 season review. We are looking back through this season, no matter what. That should be better because I'm going through that mic. Echo, get rid of that. Yeah, so make sure you smash the like button, smash the subscribe button. Big up, Adam. I hope you're well. Like, by the way, big up yourself. You know you love to hear always. Yeah, so we're just gonna go through it like the season step by step before we get to that ending of last season. We're gonna go of this season. We're gonna go through it from the beginning. So, looking at pre-season testing. So, like, if we go back to pre-season testing, I'm just gonna bring it up in a sec. Just give me a quick. Let me just quickly. Go away. Don't want that. Go away. Don't want that. Banner. So yeah, pre-season testing. Get rid of that. Don't need that anymore. Pre-season testing. So, right. The reason I'm gonna like Anthony, like seriously, you can stop it now, man. Like, yeah, like the pre-season testing threw up a surprise. Obviously, there were changes to the floor of the car. Part a little sliver about that thick and about that long. Yeah, Adam will get to that in the end. Like, and that long was cut off the back end of the floor, and it made such a huge aerodynamic difference because all the dynamic parts they had on the edge of the car were cut off. How do I quickly explain this? Well, I'll show you. I'll quickly show you in a quick diagram. Which I'll show you. That is a quick diagram. Is there a pen there? Nope. No, is there no pens? No pens at all? Last offer? Going once, going twice, going 3 times? Oh, there it is. They're all up here. Right, they're all up here. Scratch that. So, right, so something. So basically, the last season, this is last season's where you got the whole square like this. Right. I know it's a very rough drawing, right? But this season, right, F1 2021, what they did is they did this on both sides of the rear. It's just sort of cut it like that, like this, so you can see the difference. If you see the difference, you see where there's a little slant, and you see where it's nice and straight. So that's last season, that's this season. So that all the aerodynamic parts they had here, and they had here, we'll just colour that in, gone. Completely gone. Right, and what that does is it throws all the air that was going in between here, between the suspension and the box of the rear wing, and the rest of the car, the little box before the wheel gets put into the chassis of the car. So just that bit there. Instead of last season, it go through in between this area. That's what the air would do in this direction. Yeah, if anyone can see that. That one, right? The arrows are going straight into the tyre, and what that does is break the air that way and that way, right? And it causes what you call wash, and you lose so much downforce just that. Just if the air is hitting your tyre and splitting the air one way and another, you lose a ton of downforce while you're doing it, right? So they want to get it in between the chassis and the steering wheel. That way you get maximum downforce, right? So they've lost all those aerodynamic pieces, and Mercedes have been the masters of building this, right? Hence why they've been so strong. So they lost all that gizmos. What it did help is help cars with a higher rake. Higher rake is where you got teams that won. No, I'm busy. I'm busy.
Yeah, but we're all going to bed, so can you?
Yeah, okay, I know.
Keep it down.
Do you know?
Like
I know. I know. So I know. Please.
Well, please. You don't be rude.
Right. So you've got the floor of the car here. Right. So say you've got the floor of a car. So that's the floor of the car. Now, some cars do it like this. This is what the Red Bull would do. Like they have a little where it goes downwards towards the front. This. So that's the front. That's the rear. So they'd have a higher end on the rear, right? And what that does, if you look at it, I'll show you actually. It's easy to see if I compare the two. Actually, if I get a picture of the W12, the F1 W12. No, the Mercedes W12. Right, here you go. I'm going to quickly... There's a couple of images I'm going to save and I'm going to upload them. Right. And it can show you exactly what I mean. This is the W12 Mercedes. You've got one half the last year's car and one half this year's car. So I'm going to show you that one, and then I'm going to show you the... Was it the... Oh yeah, the side view of the car. So you've got a side view. So you've got a side view. Let's have a look at a side view. Right. Let's have a look. Yeah, let's save that image. And I'm going to compare it to the winning driver's car, which is the RB16B. So, oh, that's a good comparison actually. Here you go. So give me a second, I'm just going to quickly upload these. Right. Because it's important. This is probably why Mercedes lost all their pace. So if you look at, so on the left side, on this side, on the left, the furthest to the top, you've got 2020, F1 2020. You see where this the box is complete, the line out on the floor is completely straight. Look at 2021. You see where it slants from about the middle point onwards. So they've cut this bit off here. So they've cut a little piece off, right? Just that little bit off. So if I was to quickly go to have a look at paint. Jesus Christ. Where's the cut up button there? Right, there you go. I'm just going to quickly say that bit. There you go. I'm going to quickly say that bit. So there we are. I'm going to quickly say that bit. Nope. Right, so you can see my little rough colouring in. That's what they've cut off there, and it meant that all the air is going now onto the tyre. So there you are. That's what I mean. Right? Now, if you look at the side view of the cars, here's the side view of the Mercedes. You can see how more straight and down, lower down the rear wing is. Look how much slant and angle of the floor, right, from the front to the rear, the Red Bull is. Now, that helps. That's in the ride height of the car. So when you get to races like that need high downforce and high rear end downforce, you produce a lot of rear end, and it's always been good around the twisty, good section areas of the circuit. The Red Bull, they've prided themselves on that, right? But it's been less effective because Mercedes have been able to develop the rear floor very easily. But because they've had that all that taken away, the Red Bull has been managing to jump ahead of them, because these new rules have selected these higher rake philosophy cars have been getting an advantage because of it. So, and you can also see that the Mercedes is longer than the Red Bull, not by much, but longer. The longer wheelbase of a car, the worse it's going to be around streets of Monaco. You see how Mercedes finished 7th with Hamilton, and obviously Bottas retired with his never-ending pit stop, right? Well, his 2-day pit stop days, right? But you see how Mercedes were struggling in that race. They only finished 7th in that Grand Prix because their high-rate cars does not suit that circuit, because it worsens the tyre, the turning angle. It just doesn't. It's not very good at all. So those are the main reasons why the Red Bull was a lot suited to this year and made the jump that it did. Not to mention they developed also through the season as more than Mercedes did. They only had 2 major upgrades. One to first catch up from the start of the pre-season testing. Because after pre-season testing, everyone was worried about Red Bull going to dominate this. Max Verstappen's going to walk away with it, right? Because they were 3-4 tenths clear. And if you saw in the first qualifying session, they were 3-4 tenths clear on the lap. It's only because the superior strategy and superior driving by Hamilton managed to gain the victory. Simple. But and in the next race, I said even though it was wet, I said by the look of that, Mercedes have caught up, because it's hard to tell in the weather because it levels the playing field. But I said Mercedes have caught up, and when you saw Portimao, I said they're more than caught up, they're ahead, because the way he managed to overtake Verstappen with ease, even though he was overtaken by Verstappen on the restart lap, and then overtaking him again, and then overtaking Bottas obviously to take the lead. It showed that also in Spain, again, dominant by Mercedes, they even made a 2-stop work. So it showed to me that Mercedes were ahead before going into Monaco. I always expected Monaco then to be struggling, but then in Azerbaijan I didn't expect it too much because they have been strong there before. But again, they were terrible in both of those races. But I was still optimistic because they managed to find a setup that would have got them second at least if it weren't for Hamilton's mistake. And do you know what? We're doing highlights. I'm going to do a highlight of the moment we saw that happen. I want to replay it for you guys. So we're going to do this because we're going to go back and look through the season. We're looking back at my clips from the season. Right. I still got to do the highlights clip for the no, I don't need that. Where is it? There you go. Right. So yeah, Hamilton's. So obviously we're gonna look. I'm just gonna show you this one. Right. Right. I'm gonna quickly show you. Yeah, I'll bring guests. Maybe. I should have my selected guest coming on in a minute. So I'm gonna show you. This was when Verstappen crashed out in Azerbaijan.
That's what I could.
Yes! Yes! Come on!
He got him.
Verstappen's out! He's hit the wall!
No.
Oh, man.
Damn.
Oh, yeah, man. Oh, he's fine.
Area, right?
Wow.
Is that what Stroll lost it?
He's not that far away from where Stroll did. I think he's.
I think
Stroll
I
just
said
lost it.
because he was pressing too much in that. Then literally 2 minutes later.
Second spot.
Hang on.
Yeah, that's what I.
Let's have a look. And then we go to this one.
Lights. 5 lights.
Oh, where
There's a
we
lot
go?
of steering.
Here we go.
It's lights out. And away we go.
Come on, yes! Yes! No!
Nobody's done it.
No, he's done it. He's
Run
gone too
about
far.
Run about lights out. Oh, where
There's a
we
lot
go?
of steering.
He's
There's a lot
gone.
of steering. Now Hamilton's getting no point.
Oh, my God.
Sure, what's funny if you didn't. Do you know what's funny now, looking at hindsight, right? And I said it at the time. This might come back to haunt him. It does, because if you didn't do that mistake, you would have won the title. You know, just pressing that one little button has cost him a title. You could say, but then like they all laugh at no, they're laughing at me because I was giving a lot of stick to Brother John. That's why, like, about Verstappen crashing out. And yeah, and they loved my reaction to that because it was not funny. But yeah, like it was looking like a good season. And then obviously we saw Austria, and we saw Red Bull come up with 2 truckloads of upgrades to bring to Austria, and this is where they took to. This is where I move on to my next banner. Right. Develop. hang on a minute. There we go. Let's do that. Right. So we move on to the development more, because this is the whole other point as well. The development more is another big part of it, and I'm going to give another part to this. So obviously we got to about Austria, and we saw Red Bull come up with their new 2 truckloads of upgrades, and they stole a march. No matter what Mercedes threw at them, they couldn't answer them. And we already knew what the answer to Mercedes was. They were going to do one more upgrade for Britain, and then that was it. They were not going to develop the car ever again. It's like, cause they got the plan for 2022. And this is when the other new rule comes in for this season. The budget caps. Each team gets 150 mil to spend on developments and stuff like that. Right? They can't go up to their bracket range. Mercedes already recovered from an accident that cost them about like a lot of money for Bottas's crash. Now have to save for next 2022. But also, what do you do? Do you develop and try and win the season, or do you try and save as much as you can for next season to make sure you don't fall behind? Because the problem is, if they get it wrong, they could be stuck like that for 3 years, especially when it comes to engines. So development and make sure you get ahead next year is everything. So it's sort of between the two, and we heard Toto Wolff said we're not planning on upgrading this car. Maybe little tweaks here and there, but not major upgrades like we used to, because we're looking at 2022. We don't want to fall behind. And I knew from that moment is like, oh no, because Red Bull are just gonna storm away, because I know what Red Bull are like. They'll just upgrade and upgrade and upgrade and upgrade, and they were upgrading. The only thing that was making me laugh is like, yeah, you might win the battle of this championship, but we'll win the war, because you won't have any money to spend. So whether that comes to fruition next year, we don't know. We can only find out until we get to lights out in Brazil. This is the thing. Have they invested too much? We don't know until Bahrain, or we don't know until pre-season and testing and how they do that. For me, I do feel they have, but there you go. Because to be honest, I think Mercedes did do one upgrade with their rear suspension, which only a small upgrade, but it seemed to give them a lot of performance towards the end of the season. But that was it. But the main one came in Silverstone after we fell so far behind. It was sort of the first sprint weekend as well, the first ever sprint weekend as well, which I'm going to go through in a bit. First ever sprint race weekend. (2021) British GP drama. Right, so the first ever. Right, then the 2021 British Grand Prix drama. This is where the drama started between the two. It all been, I'd say, fair, but I would say a couple of times Max Verstappen was pushing his luck a little. But so you've got to do something quickly. I had to answer this. Right, there you go. So, yeah. When is pre-season testing? Well, I think it'd be on the website, wouldn't it? Be on the website, wouldn't it? It'd be about end of February, beginning of March. Let's have a look. Schedule. Pre-season test. I haven't said anything yet, but the first race is 18th of March. So I'd say beginning of March is the second test. So about, what, 11th of March. Another 4th of March. I'd say between the 2nd and 4th of March. I think there's only one test session actually, is there? There's only one test session. I think. Don't hold me to that though. But yeah, that's what I think. But yeah. You never know. Yeah, so obviously we got we get to British Grand Prix. And Hamilton knew he had to win the race. He had to go and win that race. We did qualifying and got pole position. Great pole position by Hamilton. Gets beaten into turn 1 by Max Verstappen. And then just had to follow him like a parade show for the rest of the race. It wasn't very good, to be honest. It was appalling, to be honest. Let me just ask this question quickly to you guys, and that is, weekend idea has worked. Right, yeah, yes, oh, for fuck's sake. Come on, oh, for the love of Christ. There you go. Right, answer that first. The pre-season test. Big up, Sharky. I hope you're well, mate. I'm doing well, man. Just going through over this season, man. So I had to get it done. I have to get it done. And get my player ratings done as well. I might clip it as well and do it as a separate vid. No, the driver ratings, that is. But yeah, British Grand Prix, couldn't beat him in the sprint race. And he already worked out going into Cops, he got a run on him, but he couldn't go around the outside. So the only way he's going to do it is by doing that down the inside. So he came to the race, and Hamilton got a decent off start, but just Verstappen, I could say, gone over the racing line, used all four wheels off the racing line, just to keep in the lead. But hey ho, still kept in the lead. And then we got to like the loop, still with him. Like Hamilton looked like he got ahead into left field, but again, late braking, Verstappen nearly cuts his nose off. Going into left field, comes around to left field and gets a good run on him at the exit. Run down into past the old finish straight, like dummies him into going down to the inside. Now, if you watch it frame by frame, right, he goes down the inside of him. He is literally side by side with him, going into the corner. And I'll quickly say this as well. He could have quite easily turned a little bit more to get more into the corner. He could have probably done his best to get into the corner a bit more, but he'd also backed off a hell of a lot more than Verstappen did, which makes it look like he was nowhere near Verstappen. But actually he was side by side with him. And Max has done this and then done that, expecting Hamilton just to disappear. And Hamilton can't just disappear. He can't. He's side by side with him. If you're side by side, you're entitled to a car which has space. And he got no space. And they both gave no space to each other. And unfortunately, Max has now finally realised he's caught up with a driver that's going to no, if you're going to do that, I'm not going to back down, mate. So Yes, you got a penalty for it. Right, fine, you got a penalty to it. Why are people still moaning now that like he's still a dangerous driver? Hamilton has never been Hamilton's had accidents like every driver has, but he's never been a dirty driver. He's never gone and brake tested someone. He's never gone and deliberately turned in to try and take someone out. Never. Ever. Like, never. Never seen it. So, like, for people who said he's purposely done that, like, get in the bin. Go read up what the rules of engagement are in F1 are, because you clearly don't understand. Clearly. So, right, he's not going to back down and also he's not going to back down to Max every time that Max shows him a wheel. Simple. That's not Max. That's not Hamilton. Otherwise, he would have never won 7 titles in the first place. There you go. So, yeah, and it caused a lot of controversy. Like Christian Horner, as usual, bitching as usual. Like there was Toto Wolff. Like between the two of them, like I think Toto and Wolff should get more respect out of the two. If you're going to pick one of them, yeah, they both should have been influencing referees and that. Like, but both of them should have been given more. Like I think Toto Wolff comes out with more respect. Like he comes out with a side like we will wait until what we hear from the FIA and that before we start calling anyone out. Like Christian Horner, like will be quite happily call anyone out he likes, like in the media, like to try and get people on his side. Like he doesn't care who he hurts and who he talks about. He spent 2 weeks after that British Grand Prix, 2 weeks, trying to prove that Hamilton had done it deliberately and he's a dirty driver. And then when he gets disproven, he gets thrown out of court, basically told you get lost. He then goes, oh, it was nothing personal. You've just tried to destroy the reputation of a driver. How is it not personal? Like, honestly, Christian Horner, do yourself a favour and fuck off. Just do one. No one likes you. Right? No one likes you. No one can stand you. Right? You're just an arrogant, hypocritical, self-centered twat. Right? Then he's get his head out his ass and saying it's not all about him and Red Bull. Right? Because I bet you, if it was the other way around, the way the season ended, we would still be going on about this appeal. Because they would not let it down. Christian Horner would not shut up about it. And even if he did drop it, you'd hear about it constantly next season. Yeah, but like we could have had it this way if the actual FI did this or the FI did that. Don't forget, he also got fined for having to go up marshals for doing their job. People who take out, take their valuable free time, volunteer free valuable time, and put themselves in danger as well to protect the drivers and to get us racing. And you're having a go at them. Get lost, mate. Get lost. Like, honestly, the guy should be removed, mate. Like, can't stand him. But, anyway. I mean, please do leave in the comments. What do you think, about... What do you think about him? Like, because I don't trust him. I don't trust him in a million miles, mate. Absolutely don't. Can't stand him. Right. Anyway, we move. Let's go. Yeah, make sure to smash the like button, please. Smash the subscribe button. Hit that share button. Don't forget, during next year, we are going to try and move this to a new channel, I believe. I'd hope so. So, like, if you can do that, smash that like and subscribe and keep updated so we can do that. It'd be more and more. Yeah, so please. That's yes, it's mate. Half time, Leicester City beating Liverpool 1-0. Wow, that's a shock. Anyway, big up Ryan for that bit of info. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button, please. Do hit the share button as well. Really, really important you do that for me. Really, really important. Right, really would mean a lot if you can. But look, I mean, like, so we got to Hungary. We had that like Ocon is one of the highlights of the season. That victory, like, it was helped by Mercedes making their cock up in the start of the race. But him, along with the defensive driving that Fernando Alonso did, right, was just absolutely unbelievable. And he deserves every single credit he gets, me. Because that was a really good commanding drive. He had Vettel behind him, who was, again, a very experienced race winner. I think he's about 54 race wins he's had. And, like, if it weren't for, I think, a botched pit stop with Aston Martin, who was a bit slow, he probably would have jumped him. But luckily, sometimes you need that dash of luck. And Ocon got it, and he kept the lead ever since he's also very hard to overtake. So, like, that was one of my highlights this season. Seeing that was quality, despite me wanting Hamilton to win. But we moved, I mean, and then we moved to one of the worst points, Belgium, where I think I also read an article, apparently. I saw an article where the fans are not being refunded for that Belgian Grand Prix, which I think is a joke. Like, no booking charge will be refunded if you. Yeah, Planet F1. Ticket holders. Ticket holders for Belgium 2021 Belgian Grand Prix have received a reconciliation offer, but no refund for the Sunday at Spa. That featured no Formula 1 racing. I think that's a joke. Honestly, I think that's a joke. Right, Hamilton bit among those to call for a full refund that is not materialised. Right, nor has a discount for the 2022 tickets. I think that's an absolute joke. Right, you sat there in the freezing cold and wet for about 4 hours. We were sitting there waiting for this thing to get started, and you're not going to get a refund for it. I think that's a joke, honestly. Like, you've paid to sit there and get soaked for no reason. That's a joke. Right? Do you know how much it costs to go to one of these Grand Prix? A fucking fortune. Especially the big ones like Spa. Like the legendary ones like Spa. Like, fuck, I mean, let me have a look at, Spa. Let me have a look at it. Belgian Grand Prix tickets. Come on. €175. One for Friday to Sunday. Sunday is only from €160. Right. That's a joke. What about just general admission? What about just general admission? Yeah, €160. Just to sit along the track or like the Camel Straight. I think that's a fucking rip-off, mate. And you're not going to get a refund for it. It's a joke. Anyway, like, but that's the one big positive out of was George Russell. Right, George Russell on the podium. GP washout. Quickly, no. Sorry. Right, just on the podium and then move to Mercedes. That's also the big news as well. Like, Mercedes should have changed wheels to flat tyres, and Lewis Hamilton would have won, but Verstappen has won his first. Should have changed. No, Ryan. I've heard people say this. No. As the lead driver, right, there's nothing they could have done. In the first safety car, the virtual safety car, they couldn't give track position to Verstappen at the time because they didn't know whether Hamilton would have the pace or the fresher tyres to have such an advantage to overtake him again. We didn't know what Latifi was going to do. You couldn't predict that in the future. And then when it did happen with Latifi, there's no way Hamilton could have pitted. As long as he pitted, Max decided to stay out, and then I know Michael Massey, he would have said safety car to the end. But even then, like, he decided to have. What was if they decided that if that did happen and they did follow the rules, they would look like the biggest idiots on the planet. They would. They would look like the biggest mugs on Earth. So they couldn't do anything, right? But they shouldn't need to do anything because the rules should have been followed. Simple as that. And I'll keep saying it until I'm blue in the face. But I'll move to so we've gone. So Russell next season in the Mercedes. I do feel most of that season he may just be. Yeah, but like in the Mercedes tomorrow, next season, sorry, he's gonna be. I think most of the time spending his time learning from Hamilton. Like if he gets the opportunity, I'm sure he'll take it. But I think that's the main thing. But he's deserved his seat over the 3 years he's been in F1. He's got a podium with Williams. Got a Q2 numerous times with Williams, even when in 2019 when they were at their worst. I mean, some of the achievements he's done with that car is incredible. Like, got his first points as well in Hungary was just incredible, and you can see how much it meant to him to do that, despite knowing how long it's taken to get there. So, like, he's left Williams in a better place by a mile, and he deserves his chance now. Deserves it, and I'm sure Hamilton is going to try and help him as much as he can, because that's the sort of person he is. So, okay, I didn't know about Formula One. So interesting. It'll be also a bit of politics as well, mate, because he's a young driver. Hamilton's the experienced older one now. So over time, they'll start to favour more George Russell than they will Lewis Hamilton, because Hamilton's only got 2 more years. We don't know whether he's going to be doing it 2 more years after that. My guess, he won't be doing that. I think it'd be 2 years, and after Toto leaves, he'll leave. He'll leave at the same time Total Wolf leaves. That's my guess, which is 2 years' time. So next season, 2022, and the season after. So at the end of the season after in 2023, Hamilton, I think, will be gone. So George Russell is going to be the one they turn to, because he's the team's future. So in the end, when they get a new power unit, they'll give it to Russell, not Hamilton. Unless Hamilton's in the title fighting position and Russell isn't, they'll give it to Russell. That's what will generally happen, right? I don't know, Ryan, if you've seen the Breaking Point series on the F1 2021, where they see a new driver come into the team against the experienced one, they started to favour him more. It's that politics in it, which is expected. So, but like, he will be doing his best to learn off Hamilton as well as try and keep up with him as well, which I think he has to. I think he will do because he's got the pace. We've seen he's got the pace clearly. That Sakir Grand Prix, he destroyed Bottas from lap 1. Right, it went until 2. It was a Mercedes cock up that cost him that race. So, like, but it will be definitely great to see him in there. But we move to the Italian Grand Prix, right, in Italian GP drama, Max versus. Then the drama at the next sprint race between the two title contenders, right? Hamilton with a penalty getting put to the back toward. No, I did think, yeah, he did have a penalty. I don't know if he had a penalty. No, he didn't have a penalty, sorry. What am I on about? But he didn't do well. He think he started 5th or something. But he got to a point in the pit stops where Verstappen made a really poor pit stop, and it gave Hamilton the inkling to try and overtake. Melina, like, big up yourself. If you're female, I'll drop the link in and you can come on. I'm going to drop the link in actually anyway. But I'd love for you to come on because I haven't seen you on an F1 stream as well. Plus, Mel, if you're free at all later, I'll possibly have a chat to you privately on Messenger or something, on Insta or something. Just something I've got to talk about that I think I sent a message to you earlier about. But I'll put a link in anyway. But big up, thanks for turning up as usual. But yeah, the Italian Grand Prix, Hamilton and Max, botched pit stop by Red Bull, which is unheard of. It gave Hamilton the chance to just take the lead, by the way, from Norris, to get in the pits and come out in front. And even though it's a slower pit stop, he did come out in front. And Verstappen was about here. And then Verstappen, for some reason, thinking that though Verstappen, even though Hamilton's giving him no room, thinks he can just come streaming down the inside when he's got no room on that inside to get around him. Like, he wasn't even going to get around the corner knowing how tight the angle was. And instead of going off down the slip road, which someone else had just done earlier in the Grand Prix, when someone's done that to him, he decides, I'm going to hit the curb, which launches himself straight into Hamilton. And if it weren't for the halo, then he takes his head off. And people want to sit there and say it's Lewis. People want to say that it's Lewis's fault. Get yourself in the bin. Take your agenda and shove it where the sun don't shine. But if it weren't for the halo, Hamilton would not be alive. He would have been dead. Simple as that. Right? Simple as that. Which I think is a joke. Like, how has the guy not been punished seriously for that? He got punished by a 3-place grid penalty. No wonder in Saudi Arabia tried to do something stupid again. Like, because the guy doesn't hardly get punished. He hardly get any punishments this season. But I'm gonna show you, like, I think I show the reaction to it. I did my reaction to it. Like, where is it? Where is it? Right. Right. Trying to find it. Right, here we go. I'm trying to see if I can get it up. There we go. Sorry if the picture's wrong because it wasn't very good.
Come on, come on, come on, come on. Yes, 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 yes.
He's about to pass him. He thinks he got him. I think I've got him there. And then watch.
Oh, come on. Are you taking a piss? Are you taking a piss?
That's it. Lost it. Verstappen takes out Hamilton. Yeah, the internet was dodgy. Internet was dodgy in that moment. I've got on me. I thought I would use that in my highlights of this year. It was, yeah, it was. Yeah, that's just, mate, like, some of the reactions this season in quality, but it's just like, Max just, I think even if Max submitted there and finished behind him, he'd be still won the champion, like, in the championship in the long run. But it's like, you got to know when you're beaten, and this guy just doesn't know when he's beaten. I think even next season, if someone comes up to him next season, it's one of those. Do you risk yourself trying to get yourself taken out to try and compete with this guy? That's the only way you're going to compete with him. He just doesn't want to give in to anything. And I'll go further. Like, his drive is brilliant. You saw in Sochi, he managed to recover to second, which is great. Alright, weather did help him a bit, but still. But then he just does things like Saudi Arabia, and I'm like, you've got to admit when you're beaten. You've got to admit it. Hamilton admits it. Every other driver admits it. I'm sorry. Verstappen at time needs to know he's done. Right? It's like when the Brazilian Grand Prix, and I'll move on to that now, because we got to Mexico and Verstappen won that. It looked clear in the championship. It looked like it was all about over. And then Hamilton put back to the back of the grid with a qualifying infringement, even though he'd been fastest all weekend. Right, I thought, even though in my thought deep down, I thought it's over, but my heart said it's not giving in. But he managed to recover to 5th in the sprint race, which is absolutely outstanding. Like, I think the Brazilian Grand Prix is probably one of Hamilton's best ever drives. Like, Hamilton's Brazilian GP Champions Drive. To first. Right. So yeah, his drive from 25th to 1st, and I put 25th, so he went from 20th to 10th, that's 5th. Then was brought back for a gearbox problem 5 places, which meant he had to do another 5 places, which meant he went from 10th to 1st. So he 25 places in the end he had to make up to take the lead. And when he did eventually get the lead, but Verstappen, I don't care what anyone says, right? When you see the onboard, which magically it turns up straight away for Hamilton in Silverstone, but in his Brazil it doesn't turn up until Wednesday, and it has to be submitted into a review, which never gets frigging looked into anyway. At these reviews, it never works. It's funny that, and they say that's not substantial evidence. You saw Verstappen's steering wheel. If you compare it to when someone normally turns in, especially at that angle, even when they're full wide and on the racing line, they turn more angle than what Verstappen did. And you're telling me he's not deliberately driving someone off the road? Come on. To the fact he was already three quarters past him, and he couldn't turn furthermore because he had locked up so much because he decided I'm just going to power Danny inside and I don't care who I take out. Like, because you know if you took him out, the season's done. So, like, that was ridiculous, and it sort of set up to what would happen in Saudi Arabia, right? And which is what happens when drivers don't get punished and you don't punish them. They will end up doing these things because they think they can push it and push it and push it. Like, Saudi Arabia was an absolute joke from a refereeing point of standards. You can't negotiate with teams what penalty they want. It's like negotiating with a football player. Said, where do you want to take the penalty? Do you want to take it on the left or the right? You get a penalty. Which way do you want to take it? Do you want to have a wall in front of it? Mate, I'm sorry. You said you either start behind Hamilton in third, or you get fuck all, or you get in the stewards, right? Which will give you a penalty. Either or. You don't negotiate with them. I think it's a joke. Like Massey, like how can you negotiate with people? I don't know, over their own penalties. It's just stupid. Absolutely stupid. Like, Massey is just, he's too soft. Charlie had 9 team members arguing around him in the 2005 US Grand Prix. That's the last race director. And he stuck to the wall so much that only 6 cars started in the end. That's someone who's got the balls to sit there and say, no, those are the rules, you either like it or lump it. Right? Massey's like, oh, I can bend them a bit here, I can bend them a bit there, just to make everyone happy. It's not about making people happy, it's about doing what's right. And he hasn't done what's right. He's done what's good. He's done what's right for F1, that's what he's done. Like, a whole lot of them. This, like, because if that was in any other Grand Prix, Max Verstappen would have been disqualified for Saudi Arabia. End of story. For that incident alone. Simple. So, I don't care what anyone else says to it. Like, you don't brake test someone and then expect to get away with it. Simple as that. It's a joke. And the fact that Hamilton in Brazilian Grand Prix, when he had to go for a third attempt, he had to cut across in front of him to make sure he didn't do anything stupid. He had to make sure it was fully past him down the straight. He can't be like 3 quarters past him because he knew he'd just dive down the inside and take him out again. It's just a joke that you have to remember when you're beaten. At certain points, you just got to accept it. Otherwise, you're going to be stupid and cause accidents. So, and that's what happened in Saudi Arabia. Like, how many times did we see Max Verstappen going off the road at turn 1 to come back on it because he just couldn't accept it? Like, if you finish second, you still got a chance to beat him in Abu Dhabi. Like, it's a joke, absolute joke. Like, and the fact that he's not being called up on it more often is a joke. Like, I don't care if Sky are trying to be neutral, which they ain't, because Paul the Rest seems to be up his arse all the time. Like, that dangerous driving like that needs to be called out. I don't care who you are, I don't care who you support. Driving like that should be called out straight away. By everyone. Media, drivers, teams, anyone. Because it's about protecting the safety of the sport. And this guy's got no seam to the safety of the sport when it comes down to wheel-to-wheel racing. It's more like, I'm coming out first, and if I have to take you out, so be it. This seems the attitude to me. And what's worse as well, is what I've seen since he's won this championship, is like, oh, Lewis has never inspired me, this, that, and all, and all the other. I'm like, you've just only won one championship. You've just won a championship. You've only won one championship compared to him. Compared to Lewis is something you should be inspired to, mate. If you may not notice, if you're not inspired by what Lewis has done on the circuit and off the circuit, especially off the circuit as well, it shows that you're not willing to improve as a driver. And because you're that far up your own arse. Right? It's not accepting he's better than you, he's accepting what he's achieved. You want to be inspired by what Hamilton's achieved, because you want to inspire to beat it. Surely. Because you want to be the best. And if you want to be the best, that means you beat who is the best. And statistically, Hamilton is the best. Simple. So, like, his ego's already got to his head beforehand. Now his ego's gone even more because he's won a championship. You watch Nick Seaton, he'll drive like I'm Mr. Know-It-All. I can see it. And it's frightening at times because it's about the safety of the sport. So there we are. But I'm not Saudi Arabia is just a car crash of us. The way that was handled, it was not great at all. Just the end of this season, the way the FIA have handled this season is a disgrace. Like, it moves on to my final point. Like, yeah, FIA and Messi are a disgrace. Make sure you keep smashing the like button, please. Do hit the share button. Are a disgrace. They were a disgrace to the end of that season. Like, they saw an opportunity to set it up to a one-lap finale, and they managed to do it. Like, that last race, and I'm going to go quickly over it again, because I don't want to go over it again, because it's just stupid. Like, the more I think about it. Hamilton was clear in front. 37.5 laps. Should have been his. One. Done. Finished. Title won. Like, what they did is a disgrace. It's shocking. I've never seen something so bad. So bad. It's unreal. It's really unreal. And no wonder I reacted the way I reacted. I just couldn't believe that the sport that I thought had integrity and thought stuck to the rules no matter what, and you knew what was what, decided to do something like that just for the show is despicable. If it was the other way around, by the way, I'll be saying the same thing. I don't care if you think it's because I'm a Hamilton fan. Like, if it was the other way around, I'd say the same thing. David Doherty, big up, man. You're spot on. Yeah, man. Like, it's not about who wins the championship in that one. It's about how it was done. And I'm sorry, you don't do it like that. Right? And the way you've treated Hamilton is disgusting. This guy's a great ambassador to your sport, along with Vettel as well. And you're just throwing him under the bus like that. And then to further the pain, he doesn't want to be anywhere near you after what happened. And you're saying you're going to punish him with a 10-place grid penalty if you not turn up at a prize giving gala after what's just happened. Are you surprised he didn't want to go? Like, come on. And you're not going to punish him for it because that's part of the rules. He said, and they're saying there's an explanation to why they're going to do it. He said, if there's been a breach, I'm sorry, but rules are rules. Well, if rules are rules then, hang on a minute, this new president, yeah, who the hell are you? Who the hell are you to sit there and say rules are rules? Right? The only reason you're now known as someone related to motorsport is because you've just become FIA president. It's not because you're a ex-racing driver, which if you were, you should know what the pain is like. But then again, you don't know what the pain is like of losing a title of the pinnacle of motorsport because you're a shit driver, aren't you? Because no one knows about you until now. Right? And how dare you sit there, rules are rules? Because it was the FIA, mate, and if your FIA, your governing body, right, did what it's told in that Grand Prix, Hamilton would be there right now, and you'd be giving the trophy to him. You'd be giving the driver's trophy to him. Because rules are rules, and it should have been followed. And if rules are rules, right, Hamilton would be there as world champion. Because that's what the rules meant it would have finished as. So don't sit there, high and mighty, and say, rules are rules, we have to look into it. Bullshit. Right? And when I heard about it, like, the fact you could be punished for it, I was sitting there like that. Hamilton, just, if you walk away, I don't blame you. Because they don't deserve you anymore. They don't deserve him. For what he's done to this sport, try and make it an equal place, and to treat him like this is disgusting. They don't deserve him at all. He's done what he's had to do in F1. He's statistically the best driver on the planet. He doesn't need to prove anything else. He doesn't need to prove anything else to anyone. But no, he's not a quitter. Maybe he goes against what he says dealing with adversity. Maybe he's right in that one. But there we are. Big up, David. I've got the link in the chat, mate. If you're free, do join. Like, you're more than welcome to, man. Like, it'd be nice to see you on. Nice to see you on, mate. And do big up for tuning in. Like, it's a joke. I'm gonna go for the team ratings and driver ratings now for the season and get these out of the way. Oh, let's go enjoy. Fuck. Right. Right. There we go. Gotta have a level from Michael Massey. So Michael Massey, the FIA, get out of here. Like, you're a disgrace. Like, let's bring this up. I already put him in there. Let's go. Let's do this. So they're already in there. Massey out. This, that, and all the other. So we're gonna go reverse order the championship actually. Of the teams championship and go from there. Right, so we'll go for the drivers of each one. So we're going to start at Haas. So Nikita Mazepin, trash. Right, should we say? Mick Schumacher. Let us know what rating would you give Mick Schumacher? I would say Mick Schumacher deserves a 4. I can't give him no 5 or 4 because the car was poor, but I'll give him that. They had some good moments, like in the season, but you can't give him more than that because he isn't in a Haas. So there you go, right? But if he gets a faster car next season, hopefully with what Haas have been promising, then hopefully, like Haas needs to be in the bin, like. Look, I'm putting him here above the Kia Mazepin because he's time better than me, Kia Mazepin, but I can't give him any higher than extremely poor for Mick Schumacher because of the car. But he's had very good moments, like 1 or 2 moments that have been very good, like Hungary for example, but it's the car, you can't really blame him for it. Let's go to Alfa Romeo. Kimi, we'll go Kimi Räikkönen first on his way out. His last season in F1. It was poor in a sense. Poor. Expected better at times. So yeah, poor. I'd say. I think Giovinazzi had a bang average. I think he was. I'll put Räikkönen 5th. Like, I'll put Räikkönen 5, and I'll put Giovinazzi as a 6. Let me know if you agree or disagree, by the way. Alfa Romeo as a team were a little poor for me. A bit poor to me. So, but hopefully they improve next season. It's all up in the air next season, by the way. Williams, I'm hoping this is the team that improves. Like, because of its name, and I just want to see Williams improve for next year. Latifi, he was very poor for most of the season, to be honest. I'll give him a 3. Maybe it's me being harsh, but there you go. I'll give him a 3. He's very poor for me. George Russell, very good. 8. One of the drives of the season he has been. Quality in that Williams, right? Out driving that car nearly every weekend, and you can't blame him. And he's got his reward because he's now going to Mercedes. As a team, they've done bang average, to be honest. I'll say a 6. Yeah, 6. They've been pretty decent this season. Williams get themselves up to 8th now. Right, it's I think they've got double the points they had last season. More than double. Why am I more than double? I don't think they scored anything last season, actually. So 23 points is pretty good. So for them, Aston Martin. Do you know what? Aston Martin have been a shock of the season. I thought they'd push on with Aston Martin as their team brand and investing in them now. After Racing Point, the way they finished the season last season. So, like, Lance Stroll was a 3. Vettel, I think, was okay. He was okay. He had some good moments. He had a podium at one stage. Finished 2 podiums, actually. Lance Stroll was the one was a bit poor to me. As a team, poor. 4. Because I was expecting a lot better from Aston Martin. Like, don't forget how strong they've been. Talk, big up, man. Talk, if you're free after this, can you join on the link? And just love a catch up, man. Yeah, man. Look, if there's anyone you need to talk to about F1, if you want anything explained, mate, come and ask me, mate, because I'll try and explain it as best I can. But yeah, Aston Martin been poor. But there you go. Right. AlphaTauri. Yuki Tsunoda has been very poor. Like, I know Connor might just put him in trash, but there you go. He's had some decent moments, like the last 3 races he's been pretty decent, to be honest. Pierre Gasly, I think, has had a good season. I think he's had a very good season, to be honest. I don't think he's good as Russell. Actually, I'll put him very good. Top class. Pierre Gasly is very good for me. As a team, they've done good this season, to be honest. As a team, they've done really well. Right, 6th in the constructors behind Alpine is pretty good. Alpine. So let's have a look. Esteban Ocon got himself a win. Couple of podiums as well. I think he's had a good season as well. Got his contract extension as well. Fernando Alonso, again, another good season from him. Come back with a bang straight away. So, yeah, good all season all round for Alpine. Can't really blame them. At the same level as AlphaTauri, really. Definite. Like, hopefully they can improve further next season. McLaren finishing 4th. They lost the battle for 3rd this year to Ferrari's improved car. But Daniel Ricciardo, I think, has had a very poor season, to be honest. Well, poor season. He did win a Grand Prix, but most of the season he'd been struggling. The first half of the season was very poor. Picked up a little bit towards the middle part of the season. Got himself that win, and then it really sort of didn't get anything from there. So, yeah. Norris, again, good season from, but the ending of the season was very poor from him, to be honest. Since Sochi, where he let slip that victory, I think being a bit stubborn and staying out, right, where he could have easily probably got a podium at least, but yeah, he tried everything to get that win, but then after that it's been a bit of bad luck from him too. So I say 6. McLaren, like, a good season overall, to be honest, but like not anything spectacular. Ferrari though, I think have been very good this season. Carlos Sainz, I think, has been, both Sainz and Leclerc have been very good this season. like, and the team as well. I think the team have worked incredibly hard to get an improved car, despite the fact that they were stuck like that until the new regs. And improving the car is where I think they've got an improved engine coming for next season, which is a bit of a gamble because I think it's less reliable but better performing. So let's see what happens there next season. But maybe they can work on the reliability. Well, they can't really after they've started the first race because it's pretty much the engine like development is frozen for 3 years once they start. So once they start the season, so in terms of reliability, maybe they can improve because of reliability issues, but you never know. I think they can actually. I think if it's down to reliability, they can improve the engine, so they might get away with it. So Red Bull, Christian Horner, you can piss off with Massey. Actually, I can't stand him anymore. But Sergio Perez, I think, has had a bang average. That's good, and I'd say good because he was a good teammate towards. I'd say bang average to me actually because his teammate they didn't win the constructors, which says a lot to his performance. If Max has been so consistently on the podium, like the record that he has now, and winning races, and still they haven't won the constructors, shows to me that the Red Bull, one, had a car that only favoured Verstappen, and two, that Sergio Perez couldn't adapt to that car, and he's struggled despite his only race win. So, which shows that this Red Bull, like they call themselves a team, they're a one-man team. They're an I-team. They're an item. They're an I-team. An I-team, not team. An I-team. Like take item and put an A in the end, because they've got to have an I in their team. Because Max Verstappen has been one of the driver of the season. Red Bull I've been top class because Mercedes beat them to constructors, so I can't put them any higher than that. Like Mercedes have to go as constructors champions up there because despite Verstappen's record, they still managed to claw back, and despite the fact they've had their best driver have long COVID at one point, fighting for long COVID first half of the season. Right, I'll bear this in mind is when I put Hamilton up there with Verstappen. Verstappen is, people say, is the worthy world champion. I'd say yes, but then look at what Hamilton's had to deal with. He's had to deal with Verstappen that doesn't just want to give in, but doesn't seem to care if he takes someone out while he's doing it. He's also had long COVID to fight with, a slower car for most of the season, so he deserves to be up there just as much as Verstappen is, which is why I still feel he would have been still a worthy champion if he had won it for me. But maybe that's me being biased, but I don't know. What do you think? Do you think Hamilton, if Hamilton won it, he would have been still a worthy champion? Let me know. Bottas, a 7. He's done better than Perez, so he deserves a 7 at least. And then Hamilton up there with Verstappen as team and driver of the weekend. So those are my ratings. All my ratings for this season. It's what's been an epic season. Struggling, but epic. Right? With an ending that no one wanted, to be honest. I don't think anyone wanted an ending like that. They wanted a last lap ending, but not the way it was contrived like that, which is disappointing. There will be a checker flag show where we talk about other news from this season. We will be looking towards the next season. I will be doing extensive videos about the new regs, the new cars, how they improve, how everything's going to be doing, how everything should be next season. We'll try and bring you any news of any updates on how the teams are developing their cars to see who's going to gain the advantage. But that's usually secret until pre-season. So, but and obviously on the days that the teams will reveal their cars, we will be live on a new channel, I believe, on a new channel plus. So Talk, if you're still there, I would like to get in touch with you about it, mate. So yeah. Yeah, so yeah, sorry. Sorry, I just got to type this in. Right, so there we are. Those are my ratings. This is my review, trying to go through it as much as possible, be as biased as possible. If there's any other highlights that could have been drawn up, there's been a lot that's gone on this season. It's been a really great season, to be honest. Finally got a season where it went down to the wire, but the way that's been managed is left a sour taste, I think, in everyone's mouth. So, but yeah, we'll have to leave it there because I've got to wrap up for the evening because it's now very late. But make sure you do hit the like button, do hit the share button as well, hit that subscribe button as well, and we are live tomorrow with what we love tomorrow with. We're live tomorrow with the Hot Off the Press show tomorrow at 6, and then at 9 is Arsenal. Well, no, actually, no, that's been put back, so I can put that as 8 PM. Yeah. So make sure you join us then 9 PM tomorrow for the Hot Off the Press show. See if I can come up with another show as well. Well, actually no, it's not 9 PM, it's 6 PM because I've got the quiz. The quiz is tomorrow as well. So I've got to plan that as well. That's all planned, but I just got to get the guests. Once we get the guests, we'll be doing that. Don't you worry about that. We'll be doing that. Make sure you tune in, because that should be a lot of fun. But yeah, until then, everyone, do stay well, stay safe, and we will see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.